Hi, I'm Janhavi Panwar. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, or if you people are new over here, then welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, we're going to be talking about how to improve your conversational skills. You know, when you're having a conversation with anybody, so over there are some points that one should keep in mind while having that sort of conversation. It can be formal, it can be informal, it doesn't matter, but there are some points that one should bear in mind while talking with anybody. So we're going to talk all about those things. We're going to go over, and let's get started. Point number one, we have listening. Now obviously you people are going to think in a conversation we have to communicate, and this girl is saying something about listening. The important thing is that communication is not just one-sided, it's always two-sided. And when something is two-sided, you gotta listen to the other person. For example, if you're in a meeting and you've got a lot of opinions to say, you've got a lot of ideas, you gotta express them. But first, you gotta wait for your colleague to finish, and you have to listen to that person very carefully. It's super important to make the other person feel, whenever he's talking, is that he is the most important person in the world right now. And that's what you gotta do. So listening to improve your communication is super important. One more thing, which is listening 2.0, the more you're gonna hear stuff, the more you can speak. For example, if you're listening to anybody have a conversation, so obviously you're gonna catch up on some ideas, some opinions, some sentence structures. And as a result, you're also going to pronounce things the same way, say things the same way, present your ideas and opinions the same way. So that's what you got to do. The more you hear, the more you can improve your speaking. So my father always says this, is that if you are reading a lot of things, like if you're reading articles, research papers, if you're reading editorials, so you can improve your writing skills. If you're listening to dialogues, conversations, speeches, monologues, anything, and you can improve your speaking skills. Because the more better things you hear, the more better you can speak. So it's very important to make the other person feel, whoever is the speaker, is that you are listening to him and you are respecting his ideas and opinions. At the same time, the more you listen, the more you can improve your speaking. And now we have point number 3, body language. Now obviously it's very important you make the other person feel like you are actually listening to that person. For example, if you cross your hands and stand in front of anybody, that basically shows is that you're not allowing yourself, or you're not allowing others to get close to you or to have any sort of opinions on you, or that, you know, that makes the other person feel is that he can present his ideas very freely. So it's important that your body language is top-notch. For example, if you're in an informal conversation with your friends, so over there as well, if you have like a super monotonous kind of expression, so nobody's gonna care. Everyone is gonna be like, nah, this person's boring, you know, very basic. So nobody's gonna care. After that, when you're in a formal conversation, then it's super important, you know, to have your posture up straight, your body language, your expressions, your eye contact, the kind of gaze you have, and the kind of distance you're maintaining. So all of these things, they come under body language. Now obviously I'm gonna make another video on how to improve your body language in order to become a very fluent speaker. Even if you are fluent, doesn't matter you're fluent in a language. It matters if you can hold that same level of fluency with your body language as well. Because if your body language isn't gonna match with what you're saying, then it doesn't mean anything. In body language, another thing we have, there are 4 T's of communication, and the first T we have is tone. If I'm saying a lot of sweet things, but if my tone is super rude, the only thing that's going to come in your mind is that, you know, forget about her, she's super rude. So it's very important is whenever you're talking, you have a very polite and a sweet tone, even if the other person is in anger, even if you're sad or anything. So make sure to maintain your posture. Another point we have, conciseness. What is conciseness? Conciseness means is that you have to be specific and to the point. Basically, keep it brief yet very specific. Conciseness, you know, another synonym you can just take up is assertive communication. Assertive communication means being to the point, you know, instead of beating around the bush, you just be to the point, very direct and clear, but in the most politest and in the most formal way possible. For example, if you're having a chat with your professor, then obviously you have to use professional words, academic words, formal words. So in order to do that, instead of, you know, picking up different topics, picking up different matters and situations, just come straight to the point, is that I've got some problem with this, I hope you can help me. So very simply, you are going to be there straight at the point. And an assertive communicator also has one more quality, is that he never says, okay, this was your fault, I felt like this. Instead of that, he says, is that when you did this, I felt like this. So an assertive communicator is never gonna blame the other person for something. He's just gonna blame his feelings, is that he felt something due to other person's action. So these are the consequences. But he's never gonna say, is that this is your fault, this happened because of you. So never basically blame anybody else for the whole situation, for the whole scenario. It's very different. Always tell what your feelings are, present your feelings. After that, this is the last point, make sure to think before you speak. A lot of us, whenever we are, ought to have a presentation, a speech, a monologue, or even if you're conversating with anybody, we do not think a lot of the times, and that is our problem. Whatever the first thing that pops up in our mind, we just say that, we blurt it out. Instead of that, think about it, whether it's correct, whether the situation is fine. You have to check whether the environment, the kind of people you're talking with, it depends on your audience. Like if your audience is a fourth grader, obviously you're not going to use academic language in front of a fourth grader. But if your audience is like intellectual people, master students and research scholars, then your language, it should be professional. So in order to do that, you have to see what kind of audience you have. So make sure to evaluate everything, think before speaking, and then start whatever your job is. So make sure to keep these things in mind, and these are definitely going to help you in becoming a fluent and in a much confident speaker, because it's just going to make you aware is that, yeah, you're keeping all of the points in mind and you are super confident. And as for me, I'm going to see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Bye, everyone. Stay safe.